The killer well in a small Ukrainian town. 3 victims in a single day. Do not miss it. Why is the well taking lives? Psychics investigate. This is Psychic Investigations, a show of real and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate sensational criminal cases and incredible supernatural phenomena. In a small Ukrainian town, the Lyubera family was preparing for their son's christening, but instead of a celebration, they had a funeral.
That morning, 33-year-old Olya Lyubera left for a side job. A local resident asked him to clean a well in the yard of his unfinished house. He promised good pay for the work.
When Kolya left at 8 a.m., he kissed me on the cheek and left.
The couple had been together for only 2 years. For Olena, that was the happiest time of her life.
For 16 years, I couldn't get pregnant. I thought I'd never have children. And then a miracle happened. Kolya gave me hope. He gave me the child I had been waiting for so long.
Her husband's death turned her life upside down.
What I regret most is that my son will never have a father.
The terrible news nearly drove her out of her mind.
First they said he drowned, then that he was poisoned by carbon monoxide. I cannot understand how that could happen. I turned to psychics and really hope they can help.
The widow feels guilty for letting her husband go to work that day.
It feels like Kolya wants to tell me something. Recently, I dreamed that he was angry with me.
The man went to earn money for his first child's christening. The money promised for cleaning the well should have been more than enough for the celebration.
But instead of a christening, there was a funeral.
Olena was exhausted from not knowing what really happened to her beloved husband. Her only chance to return to a normal life was with psychics. To help Olena, Roman Latynin, a representative of the cult of Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead, and clairvoyant Olga Kalinova came to assist.
I smell gasoline. And I hear a noise like a tractor or some large machine. It feels like it was a death in a vehicle.
I had a dream that I was standing, feeding some birds. Suddenly they all flew away, leaving 6 pigeons. And I realized they were dead. Hello.
Hello?
I'll ask you for a moment to take the card so it's easier for me to read the information. Your son David has a very strong energetic connection with Kolya. Your husband is always with him, and the little one can see him. He understands he will not return to the world of the living, and he tries to watch over his son from there.
He had a dream to buy an apartment, build a house in the village so David would have everything, and to get him through college.
What kind of work did he do? I feel coldness in funerals.
The ritual service in our town.
Kolya worked as a driver for the Funeral Services Bureau. That's where he met Olena when she came for a job as a wreath designer.
I'm a wreath maker. We make wreaths, decorate coffins, make them beautiful.
He didn't like this job, and you knew how he felt.
He saw corpses. He saw and carried them. That work exhausted him completely, and in the end, he finally left. On Tuesday, he left work, and on Thursday, he died.
As for his death, there's some kind of mystery there.
Olena, forgive me, but I have to tell you that death is walking near you. There is a very heavy sin, and the death of 2 people hanging over your family. And because of this, the devil looms over you.
My father killed 2 people. The first time he killed, I was 6 years old.
Olena says her father was always hot-tempered and unstable. During conflicts, he completely lost his mind.
A friend called him a bastard, a knife in the heart, and that was it.
He served 15 years, got out, and killed again. His second victim was a neighbor. The motive was the same: a quarrel.
He was sentenced to 13 years.
Dad is still in prison for the last murder.
Kolya gave you hope. Life before meeting him didn't bring you any happiness.
For some reason, I never had any luck in my personal life. I met guys, but not a single normal one.
Your first husband also died under strange circumstances.
Olena has buried more than one husband. They both passed away under unusual circumstances.
My first husband, his name was Oleg.
He ended up in a very bad place. Everything around him was dark.
He left and never came back home. My mom, dad, sister, and I searched for him for 2 weeks, and in the end, we found him.
The man's body was discovered in the basement of an apartment block not far from home. The doctors concluded heart failure, although Oleg was only 22, and he never had any heart problems.
He suffered for a long time, but this wasn't murder.
He slowly killed himself.
They wrote down heart failure, but in reality, we knew it was an overdose. He was a drug addict. I married him and only then learned he was an addict. We lived together for 2 years, and when I was 20, he died.
You paid the price for the sins of your father. For his 2 murders, you lost 2 husbands. The first destroyed himself. But with the second one, Kolya, things aren't so simple.
There really is some mystery here. I feel suffocation.
I'd really like to go to the place where this happened. I want to talk to him, to find out what exactly happened in the end.
Olena, can you show us this place?
Yes, of course.
Kolya's relatives and his mother learned that psychics had come to Olena to investigate the circumstances of her husband's death. So, now the family of the deceased is here, at the place where his body was found.
Hold the cards for a moment. This looks like some half-finished construction because I see it a little differently. Like a pit, but without any edge.
In fact, the owner had built an extension around the well. Before, it was just a regular pit, 7 meters deep, but after Kolya's death, the man decided to seal it up. He couldn't drink the water from it anymore.
I don't understand. The cards show me that there was a second person here.
There was another body here.
His brother, my elder son. I am the mother.
My God, did this all happen on the same day?
Yes.
It was at the same moment.
As it turned out, the brothers went to clean the well on the church holiday of Saints Peter and Paul, and both died on the very day of the apostles' martyrdom. It is believed that working on such great feast days is a sin, and those who break this church canon can perish on the spot.
Kolya, please. Tell me what happened here. It looks like some kind of injury. Or what?
Slavic was all beaten up.
I don't sense murder here. This was just an accident. There should have been water in the well, but what I feel is not water. It's some gas. They suffocated from gas.
But what kind of gas was it? How did it get into a well with water? And why were there injuries on Slavic's body?
Over many years, methane could have built up naturally in the abandoned well. But this gas isn't toxic enough to pose serious danger to a person, especially in open air. The brothers died from poisoning by the highly dangerous carbon monoxide. It could not have appeared in the well by itself, but investigators have their own version of how it got there.
These men made a mistake by lowering an electric generator into the 7-meter deep well. It is just an ordinary motor, but when it runs, it releases carbon monoxide.
The brothers might have used the generator to power the pumps that drained water and sludge from the well, but why they lowered the generator itself to the bottom along with the pump is unclear. The power cord was more than 7 meters long, easily enough to reach the bottom of the well.
The gases that had built up were heavy. They didn't rise but collected at the bottom. When a critical mass accumulated, the men suffocated.
But if Olya and Slavik really did lower the generator to the bottom, how did both of them end up down there? To run the pump, one man would have been enough. Besides, the well's diameter was only 120 centimeters. That's tight for two grown men, especially with a generator.
One was working below, the other above. When he saw that his brother had lost consciousness, most likely he rushed down to save him.
That could indeed have happened. Slavik may have received his injuries from falling to the bottom, but the brothers' relatives do not believe they put the generator in the well at all. Was it actually there? No one saw it being pulled out. Only the emergency workers who were first on the scene claimed that.
It turned out that 3 people were affected in that ill-fated well that day. 2 brothers lost their lives, and 1 emergency worker who came on the call was hospitalized with poisoning.
His comrades pulled him out and saved him, and he spent some time in the hospital.
The rescuer descended into the well wearing a gas mask, but that protection was not enough. He should have used a special protective suit and an oxygen tank, but in his rush to save the victims, he neglected safety rules. During the emergency descent, his gas mask slipped and the carbon monoxide entered his airways.
You lost 3 children, 3 sons.
You lost 3? Was there a 3rd son who died?
Earlier, he died in a motorcycle accident.
It sends shivers down your spine. Ludmila had 3 sons. All of them are dead. The youngest, Dima, died in an accident 2 years ago. That evening, he was riding to a disco with friends.
I even told him, Dima, go on foot. He said, Mom, you won't stop me. These are my legs.
The motorcycle crashed into an oncoming car that had its headlights off.
His liver was ruptured. They couldn't save him.
You got the judgment card. 3 souls are falling down and 3 are rising up. What does this card mean? You have experienced 3 deaths, but forgive me. You may still face 3 more.
I don't have any more children.
Before Dima's death 2 years ago, a dream came. 3 large birds struck the window. 1 bird fell dead immediately. The other 2 flew on, then fell later.
In dreams, birds symbolize souls. And I dreamed of 6 birds. Understand? This dream haunts me.
My mother-in-law was deeply worried because she had buried 3 sons, and now she only has 3 grandsons left. 3 boys. Kolya's son is David, and Slavik had 2 sons. God forbid anything happens to the boys.
I need to figure this out. For that, I will have to go perform rituals elsewhere, because I need to set up an image of my God and communicate with him.
I don't know what you'll see, Roman, but I feel that this woman who lost her sons is carrying a generational curse.
The clairvoyants secluded themselves for an hour, then resumed their work with Olena and her mother-in-law.
Please, take a candle each, you and you. These are candles from the ritual.
Remember I told you I felt the smell of gasoline and the hum of an engine? Like a tractor running. I felt the death of another man. He also died from poisoning.
My husband, he worked on a tractor.
Kolya told me his father died from poisoning.
Could the brothers' deaths be connected to their father? But what exactly happened to the man? How did he get poisoned?
They sprayed fields with chemicals. He was poisoned by them.
Lyudmila's husband died more than 20 years ago. He was a tractor driver who sprayed pesticides. One day he forgot to wear his protective mask and inhaled the poison. The woman was left alone with 3 children in her arms.
The physical pain was unbearable. You simply can't imagine it.
After the poisoning, the man lived for almost a month. During that time, he stayed in the hospital.
The cards show him surrounded by doctors and some sort of piercing object.
Yaroslav Lyubimov was found in a hospital ward with a scalpel in his chest. Investigators found no signs of struggle and concluded that the man had stolen the scalpel from the surgical department and taken his own life.
The inner pain was overwhelming. He decided, that's it, I can't bear it anymore.
So could it be that Lyudmila's 3 sons paid with their lives for their father's suicide?
But I feel this woman had more than one husband. Was the youngest son from another father?
Yes, my second husband.
Slavik and Kolya had the same father. Dima had a different one.
So, the cause of Lyudmila's sons' deaths wasn't connected with the suicide of her first husband, since her youngest, Dima, had another father, but the boy also died.
I take the energy from this candle and the first thing I see is blood. Do you understand?
It turned out that Lyudmila's second husband also died.
He fell in the cellar onto some iron. Then the wound festered, filled with pus. They did surgery. He stayed in the hospital a long time. And then, that was it.
It's simply impossible to comprehend. 5 deaths, and all around one woman. But why did so much grief fall upon this woman's fate? And could deadly danger still threaten someone else in her family?
It seems to pass along the male line, since on the female line everything is in order. Do you have sisters?
Yes.
Everything is fine there.
Lyudmila has 2 sisters, both happy and healthy. They have daughters.
My sisters have girls. But I gave birth to 3 sons.
I see a man here. One person is very aggressive and the other one is lying down. He's in pain, as if he's being pounded or beaten. Who is this man, Lyudmila?
Lyudmila says it was her brother. His wife was stealing. He didn't get involved in her affairs, but he was beaten because of them and died.
He wasn't guilty. He was simply beaten to death.
Incredible. That makes 6 dead men, and all of them died young.
2 husbands, 3 children, a brother. It's just like some kind of curse, you see. I'm getting a name. Volodymyr. From the male line. Who is he?
My father. His name was Volodymyr. Yes.
Your father. And what happened to him? As I see it, the man is deceased.
He was 43. His lung ruptured. And he died in the hospital.
Another death. But Lyudmila's father is the 7th man in this chain of tragic losses.
I see him young. He's running, hiding. He was afraid someone would kill him.
Through the cards, I see that he was being hunted. I see men in uniforms, like the old German ones. This was during the war.
They were supposed to kill him, but he escaped.
Lyudmila was born after the war, so she knows about those events only from her father's stories.
He ran away. He told me they took him as a boy, put him on a train, and sent them off to Germany. That train was bombed. The boys all scattered wherever they could. And he ran too.
While he was fleeing, someone sheltered him. Some people.
Now I understand why this runs through your family. Before he made it back home, he hid in a house. I see it clearly. 2 children, 3 women, and a man. Soldiers, maybe Germans, maybe others. We're searching house to house.
I don't know. He never told me anything like that.
They went door to door knocking. They came to this house to see if anyone had escaped. He knew they were looking for him. He hid there, and that whole family was shot.
They paid for his life with their deaths.
Because of him, 6 people died. And karmically, the 6 deaths in your family, your 3 sons, your 2 husbands, and your brother, repay that entire family's sacrifice.
I'm very afraid for David. I want to know and prevent whatever bad may come.
Go to the monastery and work there 6 times for 6 days. Clean, cook, all for free.
I'm ready to help in any way I can, as long as it doesn't affect my son.
It won't touch him anymore. And Olya will watch over your child.
Thank you so much. Thank the psychics. They calmed us down, both Lyudmila and me, that no one had killed my husband. We finally have hope that everything will be all right, that nothing will happen to my little son.
A murderous curse doomed the woman to loneliness. The ghost of a little boy will help stop a series of deaths. In this episode, thanks to their superpowers, the clairvoyants are going to challenge the supernatural forces that are trying to kill Anastasia, a young Ukrainian mother.
Let's draw a car, all right?
The place where Anastasia lives and works is unique. It's a privately owned zoo where they rehabilitate wild animals. She saves animals from all over Ukraine that, owing to different reasons, found themselves between life and death.
Good girl. Well done. What a clever girl.
The brave woman has no fear of carnivorous beasts. Only one thing scares her: the spirit of her late husband, Yuri. Anastasia claims he took the life of her fiancé, who she was going to marry after Yuri died, and he's now hunting her.
He loved me madly. He can't let me go even after his death. He used to tell me, "I'll always be by your side."
Anastasia and Yuri's relationship began in this very zoo. The couple built it almost from scratch.
We worked together. He was the manager and I was the administrator.
But 4 years ago, the doctors found a severe disease in Yuri.
Pancreonecrosis. They performed pancreatic resection, but it didn't help. When Yuri died, my life was ruined.
Only 3 years after Yuri's death, Anastasia paid attention to her new colleague.
Olha. He was an interesting, peculiar man. He became my best friend, and he showed his affection.
Eventually, the woman dared for a date with Olha. But at night, late Yuri visited her in a dream.
A long table. He's standing in front of it, and I say, "Yuri, is it really you?" Then I woke up, horrified.
But when she opened her eyes, she froze from terror. Yuri's ghost was standing in the middle of the room.
I was petrified. He died, I know it, so I screamed and scared the children.
And it only got worse over time. Anastasia says the ghost settled in her house, and he now appears day and night. Soon afterward, Olha proposed to Anastasia. She hesitated a lot whether she should accept the proposal, but her children helped her make up her mind.
Miroslava told me one day, "Mom, we're so used to Uncle Olha," and so I agreed.
The day after the engagement ceremony, a tragedy occurred. Olha unexpectedly fell from the steps of the house and hit his head badly.
The doctors did tomography. He had a hematoma. He was getting worse and worse and worse.
Eventually, Olha died. The woman is convinced that her late husband took him to the other world, and now he's hunting her.
I was admitted to the hospital. I had an appendectomy.
During the operation, the allergic reaction Anastasia suddenly began in the young woman, and Anastasia's heart stopped. She says she still remembers the feeling of her soul leaving the body while she was being resuscitated.
It was horrific. I left my body and saw myself lying there from the outside. I felt strong fear. I panicked.
The woman says that then she again saw late Yuri next to her.
I tried to move, put my limbs in motion, but I couldn't.
Luckily, the doctors succeeded and saved Anastasia. But the poor woman fears that the next time there might be no miracle, and her children will be orphans.
I can't even imagine them here. Their mom is gone. I want it all to be over. Please, please help me.
Ukraine's most powerful clairvoyants, Jana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help Anastasia.
Jana, while I was tuning into Anastasia's photo, I saw a woman's spirit next to her. A blonde of about 30. She was holding a dead baby in her arms.
Who is she?
I don't know, she only said, "You will only stop the death when you find blood on the flowers."
Look, a living woman and a dead woman, and the cards of love and a man.
Like a love triangle. They might be connected by love for the same man.
Who is the mysterious woman with the baby in her arms? What blood on the flowers did she mean? And is Anastasia indeed in grave danger because of the love triangle? An hour later, the clairvoyants arrived at the zoo. The house in which Anastasia and children live is next door.
Hello, thank you so much for coming.
The cards showed me that Anastasia shouldn't have left the world of the living a long time ago. It's somehow connected with a promise you gave the deceased.
Wait. Yes, I feel that you gave an oath to your late husband. You did it right before his death.
He was at the intensive care. I tried to calm him down so he could go on living. I told him, "I will always be by your side."
Anastasia still remembers holding her husband by his hand and crying. A few minutes later, Yuri closed his eyes for good.
If Anastasia swore to Yuri to be faithful to him, but then found a new man who she decided to marry again, it's quite probable her late husband's spirit could be seeking revenge on her.
Does this mean Anastasia is really doomed because of the vow of love she gave? Then why did the clairvoyants see the woman with the baby in her arms?
The only way to understand if it's Yuri who's trying to take Anastasia is to summon his spirit and ask him directly. You must close your eyes and call him.
Yuri, please come. I beg you. I need you so much.
I see Yuri. He's next to you. I see him pat your head. He's embracing you.
I saw him. He was smiling, he was kind. The man I used to know was standing next to me.
Anastasia, your husband says he misses all of you, especially your youngest son.
Most of all, Anastasia regrets that her son, Myron, doesn't remember his father. Yuri died when the boy was only 1 year old.
Yuri, I want to tell you Myron looks like you a lot. In everything. And Miroslava, too. I love you so much.
The ghost of the dead man was embracing his wife in front of me. Yuri would never hurt Anastasia, neither in life nor after death. I feel that both your husbands condemned to death by something. Yuri is asking us to save you from the evil force.
He's showing me some big fantasy animal. It's like a deer.
I feel that Yuri took care of it when he was alive.
The moose?
The animal saw its strength.
Can you show it to me?
Of course.
What did you see? What? I saw some kind of black crater. It appears suddenly, and out of this black void, an otherworldly force emerges.
Like it's chasing you.
It's hard to believe. But as soon as the clairvoyant began describing the spirit, the animals went insane in the zoo. Growling and howling started in every cage.
The animals were trying to tell us who and why is hunting Anastasia.
For a long time, the clairvoyants, without a word, approached the animals and worked with them, trying to get information. Meanwhile, it grew dark.
I see a woman's ghost over there. The woman with the dead baby in her arms. From my dream. She's calling me to follow her. Quick. She stopped next to that house.
The clairvoyant points at the house in the territory of the zoo Anastasia lives.
She's holding the dead baby, telling it, "It's my house."
Has a baby ever died in there?
No. But then the woman started weeping and mumbling something. I could only make out one phrase. Died from the curse. After that, she pointed at Anastasia.
This is terrifying. What could Rubina Cybulska's words mean? Who died from the curse? Why is the woman's ghost pointing at Anastasia? And who on earth is this woman?
She's the third in the love triangle between you, Anastasia, and another man.
Marina.
It turned out that late Yuri, before he met Anastasia, had lived with a woman named Marina. The couple even had a daughter. They lived in the house in which Anastasia lives now.
I feel that before meeting you, Yuri broke up with Marina. But she didn't lose the hope he would come back until the very last moment.
It's true, yes. I had a conflict with her. It happened here at the zoo. She blamed me for taking Yuri away from her.
How did she die?
I see some mechanics, an overturned chariot.
She fell from a motorcycle. She hit her head hard and immediately fell into a coma.
Marina's friend was giving her a lift. The man lost control and crashed into a tree. An ambulance took the woman from the site.
The doctor from the emergency care told us she was on the 3rd stage of coma. Nobody said nothing. No predictions or hopes.
Marina died, never regaining consciousness.
I realized Marina's spirit had a reason to appear while she was alive. You took away the man that she loved from her, so she could be trying to take revenge on you after death.
And it could be.
I suddenly heard Marina's voice. She said I couldn't take him. He died while I was still in the world of the living. Did Marina die after Yuri?
Yes. He died first and she died afterward.
She's not the killer. She's got nothing to do with the deaths of the men you loved. It's quite the opposite. Marina's defending you. I was shocked. The woman who hated Anastasia while she was alive is now protecting her. But why? She says, "Thank you for fighting for my life."
Were you around while she was dying?
Yes. We took her to a better hospital. I did everything. I didn't want to let her go.
Anastasia says she forgot all of their old conflicts and stayed with Marina until the end. It's hard to believe, but the new love of her ex-husband became Marina's only support.
Marina says she's protecting you from the other world because you're taking care of her daughter.
I'm raising her daughter.
Marina had no relatives, so Anastasia arranged the funeral. After it, she immediately adopted the other Marina's daughter. Anastasia says that legally she had no rights to the girl, but she did everything, so little Miroslava could stay with her.
After Marina died, I asked her a question. "Miroslava, who do you want to live with?" And she said, "With you." I've always had the feeling she's my daughter.
It's hard for Marina's spirit to stay in our world. She must go. But before she does it, she wants to embrace you.
Like this, tightly. Thank you, Marina.
When I embraced Anastasia, I had a vision. Anastasia and an adult. Dark-haired woman next to her. She was shouting something in the language I couldn't understand. And all of it was happening in a small house. Can I work in your house?
The cards show me that you received a death letter.
It's connected with a dead little boy.
Yes, he was my first son, Ilya. He would have been 18 by now.
Anastasia gave birth to her first son when she was only 19, but the baby boy only lived for half a year. The doctors diagnosed him with meningitis, an inflammation of the brain, and the boy died.
The doctor on duty came out and said, "Danon, I'm sorry, but your son is dead." My whole world collapsed. He was so little and so cute.
The boy wasn't Yuri's son. Who was your son's father?
Yes, he was my first love, and his name was Gamzat, and he was Dagestani. I met him as a first-year student. It was love at first sight.
But they couldn't be together. Anastasia was unwelcome in the strict Dagestani family.
I see a woman yelling curses, and she doesn't want the baby, neither from you nor from your relation.
Gamzat's mother disapproved of our relationship because he was a Muslim, while I'm a Christina. She told Gamzat directly that he was supposed to marry a woman of their faith.
When did Gamzat introduce you to his mother?
When I was 7 months pregnant. I told her I loved him and he loved me. She cursed us. Me and my unborn baby.
A mother's curse is a powerful thing, and it's hard to get rid of it. While the consequences can be unexpected, but nobody had a clue of how the curse exactly worked.
Anastasia says that she and Gamzat decided to marry anyway, which they eventually did.
The cards show me that the boy got sick after all those curses.
Yes?
The baby was the glue that held you together. The baby gets ill and dies, and people break up.
Had Ilya survived, we would have never broken up.
After they buried their son, Anastasia couldn't stay with her husband. The awful pain of the loss became stronger than the love. Anastasia says that she simply couldn't look at her husband, who had the same eyes as their dead sons.
Whenever I looked at him, I saw my son and cried. I realized I couldn't speak to that man anymore.
The curse was probably the reason both your son and your husband died. And now, it's threatening your life. I need to see your son's grave. I need to work there.
Hello, son. Hello, my dear baby. This is your mom.
I decided to summon the boy's spirit to ask him about the curse. Your mom has come to visit you, dear. Anastasia, you still remember every moment spent with your son?
He babbled so cutely. I wanted to hear his laughter, tears, and joy. But I only saw the pain. His death was terrible, and I couldn't do anything. I cried every night. I wept and howled as a wolf howls at the moon. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Anastasia, your son says it's not your fault. He heard your every word.
I always wanted to talk to him like this, and you gave me the chance to do it finally.
Then the spirit pointed at Anastasia's arm.
Let me see. Do you see the picture?
This is a sakura.
These blossoms, there was blood on them. I see the blood flowing down the blossoms.
I cut them.
Oh dear God. Anastasia, why did you do it?
I was thinking about Ilya and decided I'd be with him.
You promised your dead son you'd see him soon, right?
Yes.
It's connected with a promise you gave to a dead person.
Anastasia says she remembers almost nothing about the incident. When she regained consciousness, she was at the hospital, and later, she was told her neighbor had saved her when she dropped by and saw Anastasia in the puddle of blood.
The blood was flowing. But not much time had passed. When you have nobody to support you and you try to deal with your problems all alone, it's hard. It's incredibly hard. You must share it with somebody and ask them for help. If you ask for help, you will have it.
The curse was intended to bring loneliness and death. This is why Anastasia's both husbands died, and the boy got sick because at the moment the curse was applied, he was in his mother's womb.
The clairvoyants carry out the ritual to lift the curse of Anastasia's first husband's mother. It was the reason the woman was doomed to stay alone and eventually die. The psychics are confident Anastasia is alive because she's done many good things to other people. And this is what's holding her in our world, as well as the children, for whom she's assumed the whole responsibility.
Don't worry about your son, he's in the heaven together with Marina, Yuri's first wife. She takes care of your son, just as you take care of her daughter.
Thank you. Dear God, thank you for this. I even see her take him in her arms, and he tenderly hugs her like I hug Miroslava. Thank you so much for helping me.
It's amazing how a mother's curse can cause terrible things. Parents always wish good for their children. They should never forget, however, that the best future for their children is the one they decide for themselves. The Widow's Street. A mystical force takes away beloved husbands from women. Who awakened the otherworldly killer? And for what sins is he punishing these people? The psychics will challenge an unknown mystical force that has taken the two closest people of Tetiana Kapitsa from Ukraine. The woman wrote about it in the letter she sent us.
Some evil spirit with mutilated face lives in my house. It has killed my husband and son. I'm next. Help me.
It all started after the family bought the house. Nobody could even think the house would become a deadly trap.
The house was quite old-fashioned, and its price suited us perfectly. We even had some money left to have it renovated.
However, several days after the family moved in, while her daughter was at school and her husband and son were at work, Tetiana saw the silhouette with the mutilated face. It suddenly appeared at the door.
I was standing in front of the mirror applying makeup when I saw a female silhouette. I closed my eyes, but when I opened them, it was gone.
After that, Tetiana's son Victor saw the creepy silhouette in the house. The spirit's face was covered with scars. It disappeared as unexpectedly as it had appeared, and the next day, the young man went to his work at the store and vanished without a trace.
I work at a pension fund. The store he worked at is next door. I knew it was his shift, so I went there, but they told me he was absent.
Friends, relatives, and the police. Everybody searched for Victor, but couldn't find him anywhere. Tetiana thought she would never see her son alive. Nevertheless, 8 months later, he suddenly came home.
He came on August 30th. I was so happy to see him because he was my child.
The 25-year-old man couldn't explain what had happened to him or where he had been. The mother thought Victor had suffered partial memory loss.
I thought he needed to spend some time at the hospital to be all right again.
But the next morning, the mother was informed that her son's heart had stopped all of a sudden.
They called me and said, "We are sorry, but your son is dead." I wanted to tell him how much I loved him. There were many things I wanted to tell him.
Sometime later, Tetiana's husband, an absolutely healthy man, died suddenly.
I went to the kitchen and saw him sitting and trying to stand up. Then he fell and started rasping. It was terrible, and then I realized he was dead.
The man's heart also stopped.
I don't know what to compare this feeling to. I understand he's not here, but I can't believe it. And then Valeria came running. She'd heard it too, and she said, "Mom, call an ambulance." And I wanted to tell her the ambulance wouldn't help.
Not long before his death, the man confessed to his wife that, like their son, he also constantly felt somebody's presence next to him and had seen a shadow of a terrifying man.
He feared. He felt he could die.
The woman is certain that some kind of otherworldly force with the mutilated face has taken her family members, and it was it that turned their home into a horror house.
When I lie in bed at night, and it's dark and quiet in the house, I hear footsteps in the attic. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying.
Tetiana and her daughter have no money to move somewhere else, and people refuse to buy the house in which 2 men died under mysterious circumstances. The woman is afraid that the evil force will take her to the other world next.
If something happens to me, Valeria will have to live in an orphanage. I beg the psychics to help me to sort out what is going on here.
The strongest psychics of the project, Jana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, answered the woman's request for help.
I had a very strange dream. There was a great lake, a valley, and a little pathway. My late grandmother was standing on it. She said, "Find the head and stop the death."
I'm going to work with my mirror. A woman kneeled on the ground, holding a young man in her arms. He's holding his hands to his heart and dying. I hear her shout, "He's been killed!" And next to her, I see the silhouette with the mutilated face, holding a wedge.
It sounds like the killing of a vampire. But what connection does it have with Tetiana and her family?
I don't know. But this spirit with the mutilated face is very aggressive and dangerous. Ah! Oh God.
What a terrible thing. The huge chandelier almost killed Rubina Cybulska.
The spirit did it. The one holding the wedge. Look.
We must be very careful today.
The psychics went to Tetiana's. The woman greets the psychics together with her daughter, Valeria. Their friends and neighbors are also here to support them.
Hello? Hello.
Thank you so much for coming. We need your help badly.
Could we please see the yard?
Sure. Come on in.
I see some kind of spirit from the other world go through this gate. It looks like somebody's silhouette. Did you see it?
Yes. The gate opens itself. Some force opens the gate. Say, when I wish to go outside, the door opens.
It's very heavy.
Yes, it's sound. It can't be wind.
And the steps, the noises, and you see somebody walk.
Yes. Yes. It did happen. I had a feeling as if someone were breathing behind me, like they were following me. It really happened.
Give me your hand. When I touched Tetiana's hand, I suddenly saw her son's spirit behind her. Your son is standing behind you.
Yes, I feel him. I felt warmth when he put his hand on my shoulder. It was glorious.
He says, "Mom, I miss you too."
Victor, son, I love you and miss you so much.
I asked Victor what was the spirit with the mutilated face that had taken him to the other world and why it had done it. And he showed me a woman. She was hysterically shouting out something, like a curse or something.
Suddenly, Rubina Cybulska started running somewhere.
Rubina, wait.
His spirit entered this gate. People?
There seems to be nobody there. It's locked.
The locals say a woman named Hannah lives here. Tetiana bought the house she lives in from her, and before that, Olha, the neighbor's son, had lived in it. After the man got married, he moved to the town, and his mother sold the house. But why did the spirit bring the psychics here?
Do you know the people who live here?
Yes, we bought the house from them.
I see a man. He's standing at the door and holding his hands to his heart.
Who died here?
Uncle Kolya, the owner.
Is your neighbor a widow, too?
Yes, Aunt Hannah is a widow.
What was the cause of the owner's death?
The heart.
It turned out the neighbor's husband died in 2010. He went to bed at night and never woke up. The doctors concluded that his heart had suddenly stopped.
2 men there, 1 man here, and all because of their hearts.
Could it be connected with the land on which both houses stand?
It's connected to a woman. She's dark-haired and dark-eyed, and she looks like a gypsy.
Oleh is Ukrainian, but his wife is a gypsy.
Oleh is your neighbor's son, and his wife is a gypsy. Did I get it right?
Yes.
There was something in this family that caused a great scandal.
Well, it was really so, but I don't think I have the right to tell you this.
Off the record, Tetiana confessed that after she bought the house, her neighbor's son left his wife and returned to his parents, while his ex-wife stayed in the town.
It was a great row, and I feel that the situation isn't over yet. There have been offenses and scandals here.
The locals told us that Ole's ex-wife often came to her mother's-in-law and her ex-husband's house, shouting and cursing. Did the abandoned woman want to take revenge on him, but didn't know the house had been sold? Did this woman's relatives become accidental victims of the war between the ex-spouses?
This evil force is seen not only by the people who live in this area.
I saw a shadow pass by the window. Once, and then a couple of minutes later was the second time. I wasn't the only one who saw it, but another girl saw it too.
What's that girl's name?
Yana.
Hold on a second, did you lose your father?
It'll be a year on the 17th.
Did he die the same way suddenly?
Yes, my father died because of his heart. A blood clot broke off.
Another man from your family is dying on the grave.
It's Dad's brother, my uncle. 2 days ago was 6 months since his death.
Did he also die because of the heart?
Yes.
This is incredible. Within just a year, the girl lost 2 men from her family. Her uncle had a heart attack on his brother's grave.
I feel this girl's father and uncle were killed by the same supernatural force as the one that took the lives of Tetiana's husband and son and her neighbor's husband. But the girl lives on the opposite end of the street, and she couldn't be connected with the houses of these women. As such, the problem definitely wasn't in the gypsy woman's curse. Jana, what happened?
At some point, I felt powerful anguish, but I couldn't understand who was emanating it. When I turned around, I suddenly saw a woman. There's a man spirit behind you. You don't live, you exist. You loved him a lot, but he left. He left you unexpectedly.
This woman's name is Julia, and she's also a widow. Her husband, Pavlo, also died abruptly because his heart stopped.
He came back home in the morning after the night shift and went to bed. At 3:45, I found him dead. It was very hard.
After her beloved husband died, the woman has been raising 2 children, a daughter, Valeria, and a son, Dimitro, all alone.
You see him often, very often. You live in a dream.
I live in a dream with him, as if we're still living together. He comes back home from work and plays with the kids. He wanted a 3rd child a lot, so in my dream, we have the 3rd child. It's like living 2 lives. One is in a dream, and the other is in reality.
Pavlo was under 40. Julia was devastated by the man's mysterious passing. The woman only lives with one thought on her mind. Why did her children's father, who never had any problems with his health, die so suddenly?
He never complained about his heart and never had any ailments. He had medical checkups at work, and he was completely healthy.
Give me your hand. In the dream, he's trying to warn you that your son may die next. Your son sees and feels a threat. There's fear.
Dimitro confessed to his mother that, like his father did before his death, he sees a strange shadow in the house. Afraid that she could lose her son, the woman sent him to live with his grandmother.
He fears to sleep and stay here. He hears rapping on the windows, walking, and some unexplained noises, though it's all quiet in the room.
I was shocked. A spirit emerged behind almost every woman around me.
How many widows live in this street?
There were 20 of us, in almost every house.
It's impossible to even comprehend. There's a widow living in almost every house.
After After another funeral, you think involuntarily who else has stayed and who is going to be next.
We want peaceful lives.
Almost all the female residents of the street have gathered around the psychics. They spent 2 hours telling the psychics about their husbands, who died abruptly.
This is impossible. A widow, a widow, a widow, a widow. Your street is flooded with tears. Almost every woman around us was a widow, and those who hadn't lost their husbands yet had buried their brothers or fathers. The evil spirit with the mutilated face hunted men only.
What should we do? Please help us.
Suddenly, Rubina Cybulska went to the end of the street and found a glade.
My God, I hear moaning. It sounds like it's coming from the underground. It's necrotic energy, it's like a calling. I asked the locals to excavate the spot. I needed to understand where the call for help was coming from.
A skull. A skull.
Don't touch it.
Dear God.
The spirit might be highly aggressive.
We went to a safe distance to tune in and understand who that dead man whose skull we'd found was.
I had a feeling as if I were falling into a grave. Then the spirits of men began emerging around us. They were all thin and exhausted. Like zombies.
What kind of place is this?
There used to be Palermo here. They sold drugs here.
It turned out that this street used to be notorious throughout the Soviet Union. Back then, there was one of the biggest spots for the production and sale of drugs in it. This place was even called Palermo, after a famous TV show about Italian drug cartels.
The trade was thriving. Huge crowds frequented here. People came here on crutches and even rolling each other on wheelchairs.
The street's current residents began settling here in the mid-90s. Prior to it, most houses were occupied by drug dealers. Addicts from everywhere arrived here for the drugs.
They looked terrible. They were real zombies. They indeed were like living dead. They took out the bodies of dead addicts, corpses, twice a week. It happened all the time. They died everywhere.
Who sold the drugs? Why do I only see women?
The women did it.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
It turned out that all of it is terrible truth. The men were in charge of delivering the drugs, while the women made and sold them.
The women made and sold the drugs.
The people are still shocked that, for 10 years straight, the law enforcers didn't even try to close Palermo down. It turned out that the addicts' bodies weren't only found along the street, but also in the local pond, which has dried out with time, becoming a field. This is precisely where the psychics are standing right now.
How old were we? 9 or 10, probably? We ran around all the local water bodies and reeds. We saw people lying face down in the water and understood they weren't alive. I, personally, found 2 bodies.
There were plenty of them half dead. In the pond, in the ravine over there, anywhere. I'm only talking about those who were found, and how many weren't found. This dead pond, I'm certain there are lots of them in it.
So this is the lake I saw in my dream. And this is the head my grandma was talking about. The otherworldly force with the wedge in its hands appeared here. What kind of entity is it? And why is it killing men only?
Do you remember I told you about a woman crying over a man? A woman kneeled on the ground, holding a young man in her arms. He's dying in front of her. I hear her shouting that he's been killed. It happened right at this place.
Yes.
It turned out that the people remember a story of a woman who brought her drug-addicted husband here because she couldn't see his torments anymore.
She brought her husband here so he could get his drugs and feel better, and he died in her arms.
This woman understood she couldn't save her addicted husband from death. She came with him here to at least know where he died and to bury him. And the moment his heart stopped, I hear her scream. I wish you all to stay widows here and know what it means to bury the men you love.
Her words became a curse. Every woman who came to live on this street lost the men she loved.
Help us. Help us, please. Impose protection on this village.
First of all, we needed to lure the entity there, and then close it down through the women's prayers.
Jana Shulikova asked the local women to help her make the fire for the ritual, and she strictly forbade the men to approach it.
The fire must burn out completely. With it, the curse that killed the people will burn out too.
Thank you so much from all of us.
It's unbelievable what consequences the old crimes of the drug dealers have led this small village to. There is a saying that you have to pay for everything in life, and they say it for a reason. But the worst thing is that the price must be paid not only by those who did the cruel things or stayed indifferent to them. Often, perfectly innocent people pay it too. A poltergeist is trying to kill people in a residential building. Don't miss out. Who awakened the evil spirits? Neighbor friends Masha and Liuda have contacted the psychics, asking for help. The women unanimously claim that some invisible force is driving them out of their homes.
I heard someone walk in the kitchen, forks clatter, and dishes fall and break. I went there to check, but found nobody or nothing there.
More than once, someone rang my doorbell. I answered the door, but there was no one there.
The woman first thought it was some kids playing pranks, but outsiders don't have access inside the building. The entrance door is locked.
Only the residents have the keys.
The residential building they live in is small, containing only 3 apartments. Masha lives on the first floor. Liuda rents the apartment above her. The 3rd apartment is empty. Its owners moved out several years ago because they couldn't sleep peacefully at night.
Everybody says it's hard to stay in here.
When I sleep, I feel something pressing on me, making it hard to breathe. I'm afraid I won't wake up one day.
Masha adds that she almost died in a fire 6 months ago.
My refrigerator caught fire at night. If I had been sleeping, I would have probably burned alive.
The women blamed power surges and had voltage stabilizers installed. But within a week, another disaster struck, this time in Liuda's apartment.
The TV was on in the room when it suddenly hissed and went black. Smoke filled the room. I almost suffocated.
The scariest part, however, is that all of this happens every time after the neighbors see a dark figure at home.
Like a shadow passes by. I got terrified.
The last time Liuda saw the black shadow, she was barely saved.
My whole body suddenly started burning for no reason. I couldn't bear the pain.
Her temperature exceeded 40 degrees. She called an ambulance. The medics urgently hospitalized her.
Pills, injections, nothing helped.
Only an ice bath saved Liuda from death. And as soon as she was back on her feet and returned to her dangerous home, she raised the alarm.
Before reaching out to you, I spoke to Father Oleg, our local priest. He came, walked around the building, and said that it was so heavily cursed that he couldn't handle it. As such, we decided to search for your help.
Psychics Olena Kurilova and Rubina Tsibulska responded to the women's plea.
I saw an image of a young woman with dark brown hair and gray eyes. She looked at me and turned into a cat. This cat woman is somehow connected to our 2 neighbors.
I see skulls. There are lots of them all piled together. But they look strange. They are somehow distorted. I'll try to look through the fire. Whom did they belong to? And how are they connected? I saw Rubina. She was covered in blood, and she was lying in a pit. This might be a picture from the future.
We couldn't have imagined what disaster this investigation would bring for Rubina.
We must go. The neighbors are in mortal danger. As soon as we got out of the van, I saw a woman standing about 100 meters away. The same Catwoman from my vision. I wanted to approach her, but she disappeared.
Liuda and Masha are already waiting for the psychics outside.
Hello?
We're glad you responded to our plea.
The card of death. The card of revenge. Death because of revenge. Someone from the other world is seeking revenge on you.
I see that they both have problems with men.
Yes, it's true.
Both women are attractive and good at housekeeping, but they say men avoid them like lepers. Liuda's recent partner left her after spending a few nights in her apartment.
Strange things started happening, and he said, "Liuda, something's happening to me."
The building is not only killing your personal lives, but it's trying to destroy you physically.
It's a terrible situation. I see a door and hear moans and horrifying knocks. Do you hear the knocks?
Yes.
The knocking on the door?
Yes, and the handle rattles.
I want to check the inside of the building. Who lives on the first floor?
I do.
Masha.
I'm going with Liuda.
Okay, Masha. Let's go. I feel like the walls are howling, the building is howling.
Your life is tough. You're lonely. Especially now. Your mom is gone. She died of a severe illness. Cancer?
Yes, my mom died 6 years ago.
Liuda is now 29. She has no parents left. She never started a family. Her brother and sister have their own families and live separately. But Liuda is all alone in these four walls. And now, she's in mortal danger at her own home.
Inside, I heard, the answer lies in the ground. It's a clue. What's going on?
I'm shivering, and there are chills all over my body.
My God.
The picture fell.
Something paranormal was clearly happening in the house. Liuda felt unwell, and at that very moment, a picture suddenly fell off the wall. And for no reason, the TV turned on in the downstairs apartment.
God, the TV went on.
Here's the remote. Nobody switched it on.
What's going on in this seemingly unremarkable building?
Something's pushing me. The force was trying to drive me out of the building, and it's here. Restless souls who lost their lives. They're so angry. There are so many of them. The spirits are specifically avenging something on Liuda and Masha. I asked the cards, why? And the answer was, a blood relative who is no longer alive. Quiet, wait. Someone is pushing me here too. The hands pushing me were female.
It feels like someone is watching me.
I feel eyes on me.
A knock. Did you hear that? Hurry up, people.
What happened?
I see soil.
Yes, we found soil.
Yes, I found dirt. I went outside to hang clothes, and I saw something spilling.
The answer lies in the ground. This relates to you. This is cemetery soil.
A death curse.
Liuda, there's a woman who wants to get rid of you. And there's a man involved.
That's true.
The man has no wife.
His wife died.
Later, Liuda explained that 2 years ago, she met Volodya, a widower.
His wife was 25. She died. She had a brain tumor. He stayed alone with 2 little children.
Liuda fell in love with the man. She hoped that together they would create a family and she would replace the mother for his children. But another woman stood in the way.
Her mother.
Yes, she disapproves of me. She said she would make sure I don't live long.
Tell them about the texts.
Once, I put my niece to bed and felt my hands and face burning. Fortunately, my sister was there. She ran over and started sprinkling holy water on my face, and I drank it. I felt better, but before this happened, she would send me different text messages, like, "Are you dead yet?" or "You don't have much time left."
This is horrendous. But why is that woman so opposed to her son-in-law creating a new family?
I want to see that woman.
She lives nearby. Anybody home?
Come out. She even turned off the light.
The gate is locked. No one comes out.
She's afraid to come out.
Neighbors gather at the noise.
Hello?
I live in the street, and I know you are the psychics.
We're here for a reason.
My dear God. I don't think she's a witch. She hired someone.
She goes to sorceresses, and then he finds notes at home, like, how to get the husband back in the family. Does she want him back, or what?
People were whispering.
The woman wouldn't open up, but then, suddenly, Volodya himself came out of the house, and he didn't seem happy to see the guests.
Enough, go away.
Volodya, she loves you.
I don't love anyone anymore, go.
Liuda is in tears. No one expected such an outcome to the meeting.
I needed to feel the man's energy. Because if he's under a love spell, the consequences can be grave. First, such men start drinking. Then they go insane. He might even hang himself.
After we broke up, he started drinking heavily.
You know what didn't add up for me? The cemetery dirt was scattered under the common threshold at the entrance to the building. Liuda was the first to step over it, and she cleaned it up. The effect of the curse should have only affected her. Therefore, something else is killing Masha. There's something more powerful.
We need to go back, let's go. As we walked to the van, I saw the Catwoman again. She knows something and wants to tell me.
We are going back to the center of the town, where the Liuda and Masha live. It's growing dark, but there's still no answer to the main question.
Where to find the answer? The answer is right in front of you. Driver, stop.
The clairvoyants are 1.5 kilometers from Masha and Liuda's home. What did they sense?
There's something here.
Lubart's castle.
Prince Lubart's castle is the oldest building in the town. But how could it be connected to the mystical events in the unremarkable building these women live in?
Here, the cat, look. She came. I was just stunned. The cat was exactly like the one from my vision. It's like she's taking us somewhere.
What's there?
A church.
This is a miracle. After the cat brought leads the clairvoyants here, she disappeared right in front of the entrance to the church basement.
This is somehow connected to your house, too.
The phrase kept spinning in my head. The answer lies in the ground. Maybe it's something underground? Skulls. A child, a man.
I had a vision of skulls this morning. They were of an unusual shape. We're close to solving this. Look, is this the crypt?
The walls of the Catholic Church hold the remains of the once well-known Talizin family in this area. Stepan Talizin was the first commandant of the city.
There's a young woman here. She's around 20 years old.
The psychics are right next to the burial site of the commandant's wife, Magda. She died at the age of 19, 3 centuries ago.
This is the crypt where the woman who appeared to me in my visions and turned into a gray cat was buried. She wants to tell us about her death. She says, "Help me, and I'll help you."
The cause of Magda's death is indeed unknown. No records or medical records have survived.
She didn't die naturally. She was killed. There was a lot of blood.
She and her child were killed. Look, she's crying.
She was pregnant and she died from blood loss.
There were rumors that Magda indeed died during childbirth. Neither the mother nor the baby survived.
There was some kind of medical error. I clearly see her death as murder. This was a clue, but I couldn't understand how it was connected to the building.
It feels like someone is holding my hand. I thought it was that girl we were talking about.
Let's go where she's taking you.
To the exit? To the exit.
Masha's senses brought us to her apartment. She went inside with Rubina Tsibulska. Olena Kurilova stayed to work outside.
The scent of death. I hear those screams and moans again. Do you hear the knocks? They're coming from below.
There's a basement down there.
My God. My God.
I'm shivering. My face is burning.
And how many of them? Women, children. They're all dead. Tools. Blood. Blood. A pool of blood. I can't. There are too many of you.
What's this?
It's shocking, but the light went off all of a sudden.
Blood.
What's this?
Rubina is unwell. Quick!
Bring ammonia and water.
Her nose started bleeding. It was very scary.
Oh, guys, I can't.
I had a vision of you bloodied, lying in a pit. How could I let you go there alone?
A woman approached me and said, "A man is responsible for my and the children's deaths."
A doctor who lived here, a gynecologist?
Yes.
They performed abortions there.
It's so shocking. The man who lived here performed illegal abortions in this basement. Hurriedly, secretly, in unsanitary conditions. Without anesthesia. It was like a torture chamber. That's why we heard the terrible screams and moans in the building.
It turned out that a century ago, this entire 3-story building belonged to one person.
Gynecologist Josip Zavitsky. He received women at his home. In the basement, he performed abortions. At that time, it was illegal.
Now I understand why the skulls in my vision had such strange shapes. These were the heads of undeveloped babies.
The doctor would wrap the bodies in a cloth and bury them.
The woman whose spirit drove the residents of this building mad died here, at the hands of this same doctor.
One of the doctor's patients, Maria Alexieva, died during the operation. Both she and her baby died. After her funeral, the baby's body remained in this basement along with other babies' bodies. This tragedy is well documented. It occurred on May 20th, 1906.
I could have never imagined that such things happened here.
As for the doctor himself, he faced a severe retribution. His entire family was executed.
The souls of the infants and the deceased woman are restless. They are trapped in the basement. They are angry. But what do Masha and Liuda have to do with it? The things happening in here now have only started recently. Something activated them. You were supposed to have a son. You know that.
Yes.
This was Masha's secret. No one knew about it. She was supposed to have a son, but the boy's future father was against it.
Why did you abide him?
I was panicked. I couldn't think straight at all.
She had no support.
Only later did it dawn on me. I sat, howling, in this apartment.
Masha had an abortion. After that, the souls of the babies and the women rebelled and decided she must be punished.
These souls need to be put to rest. We need to perform a ritual.
We will perform the ritual with 7 candles. The wax is dripping. Look, the faces of the babies. Do you see? The nose, the mouth, do you see that? It is being cleansed.
We sincerely hope that Masha and Liuda will now live peacefully, and that their apartments will be filled with love and children's laughter.
We did our job.
I'm happy you came and helped us.
Thank you.
It's incredible what a terrible secret the basement of an ordinary residential building concealed.